Bosstown made possible by the Pelletier Properties team at Keller Williams North Central. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, let them know how they can help.
I was told at one point that you'll never move past the host desk. And I did. I own the host desk, I bought it. Dream as big as you want, work your ass off. That's the biggest thing I can say. Meghan Murphy, and this is Parlor, a cocktail bar and restaurant here in the heart of Coolidge Corner. Anyone who knew me as a child knew that I did not do well with not being the boss. It's for a very particular kind of person, I think.
So today we got to dive into the restaurant bar business. She is the first owner that we've talked to of something like this. So we were very excited to sit down with Meghan Murphy. She is the youngest female here in Brookline that owns her own restaurant, which is just a fabulous thing to say. And what's so interesting about Meghan's story is that she literally started from the very first position you can have in a restaurant and worked to every single position all the way up. Finally, now the owner of her own restaurant.
So I started the restaurant that was in this space before we opened Parlor. It was called Regal Beagle. Started as a hostess. And I was a day host, then a night host, then a day server, then a night server, then an AM bar, then a PM bar, as you know, took every single step on the way up. We found out that the Beagle was gonna close. We found out 2 days before it did. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. So we closed, and the next day, I was on the phone trying to figure out how to make it happen. There's a lot of different negotiations going on. You're negotiating with the landlord, you're negotiating with the previous owner, you're negotiating with the town. So it was about proving myself to a bunch of, let's be honest, older, rich, white guys primarily, that I could do it, that I deserved a shot, and I knew what I was doing, and that I could pull it off. In every restaurant job that I've ever had, the end-all be-all boss, the owner, as opposed to your manager or something, has always been a male, has always been older. You don't have to be, a male who has a huge bankroll. You can be, me. You can just love what you do and have the knowledge. You don't have to have a huge bankroll, and you can be whatever. It can look like whatever you want it to look like. But I think that that's a big thing for females coming into ownership roles on their own, is that you're not seeing it a lot. So I think a lot of the barriers that are there are ones that we make, are based off assumption.
I think another thing that's really important for women that are chasing their dreams is there's no shortcuts. You gotta do everything from beginning to end, even if it means doing stuff that you don't love at first, to be able to get to that spot. And I think that's something that Meghan showed, and she was able to learn something with each position that she took on, which ultimately made her in the perfect position to jump at the opportunity when it came. You do something very unique in the fact that you don't have any investors helping you here.
No. It's great because you know that you have complete creative control, and you don't have to ask anyone permission, which I love. And it's a little scary because it's all you. It makes for your cushion to barely exist, but that's even more exciting. This is my baby, Every one of these chairs I hand painted. I'm here every day.
I didn't cut it in the restaurant business. I was a hostess when I was going to school in New York, and I really wanted to graduate to maitre d' or a bartender or server, could not do it. And there's a real reason for that. A lot of people don't realize how much skill it takes to do each one of these positions, whether it's a hostess, whether it's a bartender, whether it's a server. Since we just learned at the bar, I can't even stir a drink properly. Okay, this is why I was never a bartender. Even stirring takes real skill. I'm serious, that's insane. Is there anything that, since taking over the restaurant and making this big leap of faith, anything that you know now that you wish you had done differently?
People who say they don't have regrets, or people who, aren't scared, I either think you're an idiot or an egomaniac. I didn't do everything perfectly, of course not. There's a learning curve. Yeah, I wish I knew how much withholding taxes were really gonna look like. you know, things like that. I didn't know what an I-9 really even was last year, and I filled out about 50 of them. I can do it in my sleep. You don't know you can do it until you've done it.
Any advice that you wish you had gotten earlier?
That knowing what you don't know is as important as knowing other things. But just knowing that it's okay to be scared, you know, if you're not a little afraid, you're nuts. So I think a little bit of fear is a good thing. It means you give a shit. If you don't love it and you're not super excited about it, it's not gonna work.
It was really cool to talk to Meghan because she has real advice for women that are struggling from all aspects of their careers. One of the big ones I think that we all need to take a moment to recognize here is that age is just a number. We don't always have to put pressure on ourselves to be at a certain stage at a certain time. Everyone's on their own journey.
I think the hardest thing is figuring out what it is you want to do. And also the most important thing is figuring out what you want to do. Just don't let other people's expectations or presumptions dictate your future. You dictate your future. Take the pressure off of yourself that if you're not owning a restaurant by the time you're 33, then what are you even doing? I did a lot of that. Some of our staff are males that are older than I am, and I don't hear them being asked when they're having kids or getting married, ever. I don't have kids right now, and I often say, like, oh my God, I just had a baby in July. This is it. Yeah. Crazy hours, barely eating, like I'm here. It's okay to take the time that you want to figure it out, because once you make the leap for something that's so huge, it's gonna be time consuming, because once you pull the trigger, you gotta be all in. It's been scary and hard and fun and exciting, and I love going to work and I love doing my job. So what else can you want, really?